Hello and welcome to Pisces Moon Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Kate Leonard, and I'm excited to explore the stars with you. Hey everyone, welcome to the week of March 8th through the 14th. And wow, I wasn't expecting to come on with such a positive episode after some of the harsh stuff that we've been going through with the Mercury retrograde and the eclipse and the Mars square Uranus and the Neptune Saturn. And wow, right? Wow. And sometimes I hate to be right, but I said there was going to be a war, didn't I? It broke out the weekend that Mars squared Uranus. That's war squaring bombs. And it broke out while Saturn and Neptune absolutely conjunct. It just always does that. I've been getting called a lot about the accuracy of astrology, and maybe I need to make an episode about that. But anyway, I digress. This week I am calling Mars meets fate. And that can be a bad thing, but in this case, it's not. So hang on. Okay. So I'm going to do the thing I've been doing. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the cosmic energy this week, and then I'm going to do a sign by sign for you. And I'm hoping you're still liking that. I'm getting mostly positive feedback on that. If you want the deep dive, and I strongly suggest you also go for the deep dive, there's a reason why that's all I used to do. I think it's really important. Anyway, that's available over on my Substack, Pisces Moon, totally free, and I'd really love to see you over there. Also, you can leave comments for me and we can dialogue over there. Okay, so let's get into it before I start the sign by sign. Oh, yeah. One more thing. This is episode 85, y'all. Can you believe that? I cannot believe that. But as we cruise toward 100, and I want to thank everyone because the numbers have been really growing and I am just so grateful. That's not me. That's you. That's you giving it high ratings and sharing it and talking about the podcast. And I'm way grateful. I am so grateful. And with that said, I'd like to be more grateful. Here's what I'm talking about. As we move toward that giant 100 mark, which is still just mind-boggling to me, I would like to really just go through the roof with the numbers. So I'm asking you all in this last push to 100, if you would leave a positive rating, if you would subscribe, if you're only listening now and then, and download the episodes. And more than anything else, if you would share the podcast with other people and help it grow, I would be just over the moon grateful. So anyway, I'm just glad you're here. Also, let's talk about Mars joining the North Node of Destiny as Mercury retrograde is barreling right into both of them. So it's technically this week a triple conjunction, and it's part of destiny, it's fated, it's karmic, and it's part of this Mercury retrograde story. Okay, so let me tell you all about. Oh, and that the Mercury North Node Mars conjunction, it's a lot. I had to remember who's involved. Those are all happening in Pisces, and the date of the exact Mars North Node conjunction, that's going to be on the 13th. So there's a whole lot going on. But this energy, because it's so big, it's actually going to be going on all week. Okay, so that's why I really wanted to focus on this. It's huge. But the other things going on that I always like to give you that little, you might want to also look at. On the 8th, we've got Venus meeting Saturn in Aries. Hey, this is getting serious about love, money, art, all the Venusian things, and it's in Aries. So having the courage to stand up for what you want to create in those areas. Also, the same day, we've got retrograding Mercury making a trine to Jupiter, who's also retrograde at that point, but Jupiter doesn't get so changed by the retrograde. Anyway, this is blessings to come your way on whatever you're working on in this Mercury retrograde thing. So are you revising a contract, a novel, a whatever? Are you rethinking something? Are you revising a marketing strategy? All of that mercurial stuff that you're redoing, all the words. Jupiter's going to bless that endeavor. So this is a really good week to get going on all that stuff. I really love that energy for writers. On the 9th, we've got Venus making a sextile. That's an angle of opportunity to Pluto. And this is going to have us showing love to our deepest needs, showing the good vibes, the Venus stuff, to that stuff that lives deep inside of us, our deepest desires. It's an interesting energy. I'd love to hear from you all what you get from all of that. So, the main event in Pisces, we've got Mars forming. Mars, you know Mars. I mean, he can be the god of war, but he's also courage, dynamic action, motivation. He's yang energy. He's acting out in the world, right? He's meeting up with the North Node of destiny. This is fate. This is karma. This is stuff that is meant to happen. So we're going to be feeling the urge to really launch something or act in some way, take some dynamic action that moves us along our path of destiny. That's what this is about. Now, Mercury is just a couple of degrees away. So technically, also part of this conjunction. So this Mercury retrograde is going to have us rethinking something that we then go, bang, I got this. I'm launching this, right? So redoing a marketing strategy. And then we're like, yes, that's that thing. That's how I wanted it to look. That's how I wanted it to sound. Or rewriting our novel or renegotiating a deal, whatever it is, where we finally get that breakthrough, Mars, right? And North Node, destiny, fate, karma, where we're finally like, yes, yes, and yes. This is even bigger and better than I expected. And boom, I'm bringing this out into the world. Okay. Then at the same time, we also have that triple conjunction making a trine. That's the most harmonious aspect with Jupiter, the greater benefic, who at that point is even direct and exalted in Cancer. Okay, so what does all of that mean? It just means crazy blessings, right? Expansion, growth, and blessings. And it's shooting its rays at that triple conjunction, where in Pisces, who rules Pisces? Jupiter. So Jupiter's got a lot invested in this. This is why I see nothing bad coming from this Mars conjunction. You know what I always say, Mars can be the noble warrior or the psycho killer. This time, Mars is only that good, dynamic, assertive energy. North Node brings fate and alignment with our destiny, and Jupiter is sending the biggest blessings the cosmos have to offer. So that's the overview. Get ready. Let's go sign by sign. Okay, starting with Aries, the triple conjunction is hitting you in your 12th house. Things you've been working on behind the scenes, projects that you've sort of kept under wraps until now. And you're going to get that burst of energy and you're going to be like, okay, I am ready to take this act on the road, right? This is for anybody who's been really, really working on mental health issues. This could be breakthroughs in that area as well. But more than that, I think most Aries are going to be really seeing that behind the scenes work that you've been doing, that secret project, and you're finally ready to say, Bam, that was the piece that was missing. That was that idea that I just knew needed tweaked, and now it's tweaked. And I'm going to go for it, right? I love that energy for you a lot. Then we get Taurus. And Taurus, this is happening in your 11th house of your tribe, your group identity, group affiliations. And it's the same kind of thing. This may be a project you've been wanting to launch with partners. This may have something to do with a group that you've been wanting to form. And y'all, I say this over in Substack. Everything we're doing from now for quite a long time, as we're sort of entering this new world, we are going to be getting much more involved in however we define local community. We're going to pull in and find our tribe and get more connected and involved. That really fits this picture for you, Taurus, where it's about like, I've always wanted to, I don't know, start a coven, start a writer's group, start a whatever. I don't know what you want to start, a nonprofit organization, anything, right? A community outreach program of some kind. This is that kind of energy where that group dynamic is involved. And it could also be things like you and your tribe deciding to get more of service. Pisces is spiritual. Maybe you're starting a cult. It could be somebody's got to do it, right? Or how would I have anything to watch on YouTube? But anyway, Pisces is spiritual. So you may be deciding that with your friends, you're going to one time a month go do some volunteer activity. Not sure what it is, but that's the area where it's going to be hitting you. And I love it. I really see so much potential there. All right, Gemini, for you, straight up, this is career. There's no two ways about it. If you don't work, if you're not a career person, then this is going to be your public persona, right? This is where you are out in the public world. For most of us, this is career. But like I said, if you're retired or you don't work, this is about that area of life. So for most people, hands down, this is going to be like brand new, faded connections in the career zone, renegotiating contracts, developing proposals that you're finally ready to present to the boss or the client base or whatever it is you do. But Mars also represents men or people presenting with predominantly male energy. It's that male influence. It could be that some man in the workplace steps up and gives you a leg up. Or like maybe you're ready to go talk to that person and say, hey, here's my plan. Here's what I've got to offer. Step up and give me a leg up, right? Something like that. There's something going on and career gets aligned and gets big. Yeah, the North Node is fate and destiny. This is not flimsy. This is not just like you get some minor 50 cents an hour raise. Although, hey, I'll take that, right? But that's not what this is. All right, Cancer, this is happening in your beautiful 9th house. And I say that, and Jupiter giving the blessings is coming from your 1st house. So this is very personal. You are bringing your own heart, soul, and body, 1st house, to whatever this thing is for you, right? Pisces, the most spiritual sign in the zodiac, is also in the house of spirit, in the house of the temple. So this could have a lot to do for you with really fine-tune. It's more than fine-tuning, though. This could have a lot to do with establishing a spiritual group, or the 9th house is also higher education. So it could be that you launch your YouTube channel where you read tarot cards or something like that with some spiritual content, because 9th house is also publishing, which in our day and age means also digital publishing. So this is the time to take your healing practice to YouTube, or your tarot reading lessons to, I don't know, where do people take things these days? TikTok or something? It's that kind of thing. It's expanding your spirituality, but it's more than that because it's you launching something. This could also be a time when you finally are like, yep, I'm going back to school. I finally see it. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I want to get that certification because I want to be taken seriously or whatever. The other thing it is foreign travel. I don't see it as much with Mercury in retrograde having to do with foreign travel, but it could. And it could be something where it's the planning of it, like you're launching your marketing campaign for the spiritual tour you're going to lead to, I don't know. Where's some place that has spiritual tours? The pyramids. That's so cliche. Sorry, I couldn't think of anything else. But you get what I'm saying? So this is big. I really love this. But for you, especially with that Jupiter in your first house, this is going to expand you because of this spiritual growth, educational growth, whatever this is. Loving it a lot. All right, Leo, this is happening in your 8th house of other people's money, joint finances, that kind of thing. This is about investment opportunities, investing in other people's businesses, them investing in yours, writing proposals, sending out your grant applications, all of that kind of stuff. This is the time. You want to take your business to the next level, but you need a backer. This is the time. Get that proposal or design your Kickstarter, whatever it is. I know somebody who's getting ready to launch their own divination cards, and they are actually planning it for this week because they want to catch this energy. So it's that kind of thing, right? They need backers. So they're doing these divination cards. And by the way, 8th house has a kind of a culty vibe to it as well. They're doing their divination cards, but they're going to launch the Kickstarter this coming week to get this vibe. Okay, so it's that kind of thing. You don't have to go draw some divination cards, but you get what I mean? All right, Virgo. This is happening in your 7th house of primary relationships. And while I always remind everybody, 7th house is all important relationships, okay? So did you also know, I almost never say this, 7th house is also known enemies. We know what we all think of it as, the marriage house, the one-on-one partner house, that kind of thing, and it truly is. But do be open to the fact that this can sometimes involve other truly significant people. Sometimes it's people's doctors, their lawyers, depending on what they're going through in their life. But let's figure that for most of you, this is about love and marriage kind of stuff. And this is just about getting assertive, right? This is a time when you could be like kind of rethinking what you want in the relationship. And, fate is here, growth is here, proposals could be made. Or if it's not about a marriage kind of thing. Oh, the other thing is, truthfully, if you've been trying to get out of something, you've been in a marriage and you're in it in that, well, I don't want to hurt him or her, guilt, the family loves him or her, what about the kids, all of that stuff that sometimes keeps people in relationships. That's really not that much about the relationship. This could be a time that you finally have the energy, the will, the drive, that Mars energy to end it. Okay. But if it's that, you'll be happy to do it. This is not like heartbreak energy. This is like you go in and say, dude, I'm so over this, right? It's that kind of thing. More likely, though, I can see people revising their relationships in truly dynamic ways and taking them to the next level, whatever that means for them. Marriage isn't what everybody's looking for, but whatever it is, I don't know, with the North Node there, you might be deciding you want to bring other people into the relationship because the North Node and Jupiter both have things grow, right? So maybe one-on-one is not really how you want to roll anymore. I don't know. I don't judge. Libra, for you, this is in your sixth house of day-to-day routine and physical health. So with Mars there, Mars is the tough guy, strong guy, see me flex, right? I really think a lot of you are going to be getting very, very serious about physical health routines. What do you need to do? Are you getting to the gym? Is your workout working for you? What about your diet? And I think you're going to have the energy to really go for your health goals. The other thing is, though, that trine to Jupiter, that's happening in your 10th house of career. So with sixth house also associated with work in the sense how you structure your day-to-day work, this could actually be a thing where it's like, I've always wanted to work from home. I'm going to propose it to my boss that I want to work remotely 3 out of 5 days a week, or whatever your thing is. Sixth house is about how your day-to-day work is structured. So it could be you want to flex schedule, you want to be out in the field more, you want to be out in the field less, you want to bring your baby to work so that you can nurse. I don't know what it is. It's how you structure that work environment. And this is going to be a time when you're really inspired. You've got the plan, you've got the energy to put behind it. It's going to be really good. But don't forget, physical health is going to be a big deal during this time for you guys. All right, moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio, this is happening in your fifth house of children, sex, romance, leisure time, and listen, y'all, because I know a lot of writers and creators listen to me, creativity. Okay, creativity, whether you're making little humans or what do you call those things? Sculptures or writing, poetry. I don't know what you do. It's creative energy of all kinds. This is that. You're going to be doing revision to the process. So, rethinking it, whatever. I thought I didn't want a baby. Now I do want a baby. And you know what the Mars sign looks like, right? I'm not going to go into its phallic sort of shape, but you get it, right? You thought you didn't want a baby. Now you do want a baby and you're going to get busy. But for a lot of people, this is just going to be romance heating up, deciding how you want to really change your relationship by bringing more fun into it, or how you just want to change your own life by bringing more fun into it, right? But for a lot of people, this is going to have to do with creativity, and it's going to be revising big projects, launching passion projects. It's that kind of thing. It's really exciting for you, Scorpio people. All right, Sagittarius, this is happening in home and family. This is all kinds of things for you, right? This is restructuring how you live with your family. Maybe new people are coming in, people are going out, and you're making sort of a new plan based on that. But more likely, this is either moving so that you go to the place that is your heart and soul. That's what Pisces is. And the North Node of Destiny is there. Where do you long to live? I've always longed to live by the beach, in the desert, in the mountains, in the middle of an urban environment. It doesn't matter where. Where is your heart and soul being called to? This is going to be that time when you go, I get it. I know how to make this happen. I've got the energy, I've got the ideas all refined, and I'm gonna go for it. No more excuses. If you're not moving, it could be about remodeling, redecorating, rearranging in some ways. It also could have to do with sort of having those discussions that you've been putting off for like since you were 7 or whatever with your parents or whoever your parental figures are, where you're finally going to clear the air. Could have to do with that too. Get ready for that one because I think a lot of it's going to have to do with how you're living kind of thing. But I don't know. Mercury retrograde, going back over old stuff, right? In the family environment, Mars is assertive and this is fated. So some difficult conversations could be had there, but they'll be good and right. They'll be fated and as it should be. All right. For Capricorn, this is happening in your third house of siblings, local community, and communication. And I do think, also elementary education. So if you're a teacher or you've been wanting to be a teacher, this is going to have to do with launching something in one of those areas. I'm thinking most likely this is going to have to do with either launching some kind of community project, or if you are a teacher, launching some new idea at your school. For example, what could it be? We're going to have a community garden at our school, and we're going to have senior citizens come in and help the kids learn planting. I don't know. You get what I'm saying, though? The other thing this is communication in all forms. So finally launching your podcast, finally getting to your writing project, finally starting your YouTube channel, right? This is anything that's coming, you need a social media presence. It's like launching that presence, that online presence. This will be a lot to do with the writing and planning parts of it, but you've got Jupiter over in the 7th house of one-on-one relationships. You will probably find that you have an ally or a partner that you work with, or someone who gives you a boost in some way. Maybe if you're launching your podcast, they agree to have you come on theirs and promote it. Those kind of things. I love it a lot. Okay. Moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, this is hitting you smack in money. And there's really not a whole lot to say about the second house. It is your net worth. It's your stuff. It's what you own. So this is going to be some new idea about, remember Mercury retrograde, right? So you're going to be rethinking how you make your money, but that Mars North Node and also Jupiter expansion, how do I make more money? And you're going to have an idea and it's going to be divinely inspired and you're going to have the guts, that Mars to launch it and go for it. So you're one of the ones that I could see also changing jobs, going in and, making your case for the raise, starting a side hustle even, things like that. But this is about increase in money, rethinking an idea, but it's going to be blessed, it's going to be destined, and I see it going well. And last but not least, we've got Pisces. And Pisces, this is interesting because it's in your first house. So what are you changing? What are you launching? You're launching you. I know that seems so weird in a way, right? Because most of us have been born for longer than a few minutes. And so we've been out there in the world already. There is something more authentic, more creative. Remember, Pisces is your heart and soul. Who are you really? I think you're going to have been going through a process where you've been rethinking, who am I? Who am I in the world? Am I living my true, authentic self? Am I living my destiny? Am I being the person I need to be to fulfill my destiny? You guys, for you, Jupiter is in your 5th house of creativity. You're going to be feeling creatively inspired. And I think bringing your creativity into your day-to-day life, into how you define yourself, is going to be a big old giant deal in this, okay? But this is a transformation in you from which you will present yourself to the world in a new, more authentic, more creative, more real way. And honestly, that almost brings me to tears. I love that so much for you. So anyway, I hope the sign by sign was helpful. Again, if you want the deep dive, and I strongly suggest you read the deep dive, it's super helpful. I can go into more detail there because I'm not doing the sign by sign. So if this didn't give you enough clarity, go see if the Substack helps you, okay? I appreciate all of you. Please, just thank you. And please share everything, because I just want to reach as many people as I can. This is my way of being of service in the world. And yeah, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. And until next week, go out and seize the energies of the stars. This is my wish for you always, and I will see you next week. Bye.